السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وبارك وسلم تسليما كثيرا. أما بعد. We praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. All praise belongs to Him, the Almighty, the Creator of the universe, the man and jinn. We only worship Him and we ask help from Him. And we send salutation on the final messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Welcome to Quranic Arabic Academy, Arabic Grammar Made Easy, lesson number 4. We'll be going straight to the lessons, no more recap to save time. So let's start today's lesson. We've learned there are two types of verb in terms of tense. Number one, al-fi'l al-madi. Number two, al-fi'l al-mudari. In the last lesson, we've learned a little bit about fi'l al-madi. We've learned the first two forms of fi'l al-madi. Number one, for third person mudhakkar, which is fa'ala, and third person mu'annas, which is fa'alat. These two verbs or forms are used when the fi'l, the fa'il comes after it and it is mentioned. And we've learned if the fa'il is not mentioned, it may have mentioned before it, then the fa'il will be the damir, huwa for fa'ala and hiya for fa'alat. So we'll be giving loads of examples today how to use these two forms. But let's go through the rest of the forms of fi'l al-madi, because in the Quran the other forms are also used. So this is called conjugation, the variation of forms of a verb by which a voice, a mode, a person can be identified. So conjugation basically means a form of a verb by which we can tell the number of the person. Is it the third person? Is it the second person? Is it the first person? Or does that form gives us a singular meaning, a muthanna meaning, and jama meaning? So we'll be learning the ghaib, third person, mudhakkar first, wahid, muthanna, and jama. We already have wahid. Now let's look at muthanna. Obvious, we need these three letters, fa, ayn, lam. Where is my cursor? Why can't I see? Okay. We need the letter fa, put fatha on it. We need the letter lam, put fatha on, sorry, ayn. Oops. Put lam, fatha on it. To make muthanna, we need the alif after it. So it becomes fa'ala. If the ism is mentioned after it, that is going to be the fa'il. Remember, we cannot use this muthanna siga. We always use the first siga, fa'ala. The muthanna siga, it needs a fa'il. as we've learned, every verb or every form of a verb needs a fa'il. And there'll be no ism coming after this. So what is the fa'il? The fa'il is the alif. So muthanna, sigha. By the way, these forms are called sigha. So this alif is the fa'il. Both. Okay, they both. Who are they? Both. Maybe their name has been mentioned before. Or when we talk to someone already knows we are talking about two people here. So the alif is the fa'il over here. You're not going to see an ism after it. Never ever. Because one form of a verb cannot have two fa'ils. So this alif comes fa'il as a damir. Okay? So we're going to learn some damirs which only comes with fail. So this alif is like, let me put in bracket, this alif is like huma. Okay, because we cannot use huma here because we've learned huma is a detached damir. They come independent, they don't come with any fail or an ism. So you have to use the alif. Alif is here for the damir, only comes with fail al-madi. فعل. Jama. Why they're changing colors? Ayin lam. Yeah. فعل. So how do you make jama? We need a damir. Okay, we need a damir to be the fa'il. So that damir is the waw. What is the gone? What is waw gone? That is here. The waw. Yeah. And remember one rule, waw demands dhamma before it. Waw demands or accepts dhamma before it to make it jama. So let's go before it, which is the lam, and put dhamma. So becomes fa'alu. So this waw is damir that comes with only fail al-madi. So fa'alu. So this waw is the fa'il. You're not going to see any ism coming after it. So when we use this, who do we mean? They all. Maybe they've mentioned before this fail. And for this siga, an alif is written. Remember, don't forget this alif. Fa'alu. The alif is silent. Fa'alu. So this waw is like hum. Because we cannot use hum with the fail. So we need to use that damir that comes only with fail, which is the waw. So waw is the fa'il. So when we see the waw coming with the fail, now we know the person, which is the third person. We know number, which is jama. Fa'alu, they. Next one, muannas, third person muannas. We already have the first sigha, fa'alat. Let's make that into muthanna to give us two meaning. So fa, a, la, fa'ala. This ta is for muannas, okay, to show is muannas. Now we need alif to give us dual meaning. And remember, alif demands fatha before it. Waw demands Dhamma before it, and Alif demands Fatha before it. So let's put Fatha on the Ta. So it becomes Fa'alata. Fa'alata. They both feminine did. Let's go to the next one to make Jama Muannas. Fa'ala. We need these three because these three letters are the root letters of this verb. Okay. Now, to make Muannas, there is a noon. Okay, noon. It's called noon Muannas or noon Niswa. Noon Niswa, to give us the meaning of Jama Muannas. And this noon always comes as a Fatha. Okay. But from here, the rest of the forms, the last letter of the verb will have a sukoon. It becomes fa'alna. Fa'alna. So let's go back to fa'alata. Let's put the damir in bracket, which is huma, to give us both meaning. So the fa'il for this form, Jama Muannas, is the noon. Noon is the fa'il. This is same as hunna. They all female did. So for third person, we have Mudhakkar, three forms to give us singular meaning, dual meaning, and plural meaning. For Muannas, we have three forms to give us singular meaning, Muthanna meaning, and Jama meaning. So let's go through the six sigas, the six forms of al-Madi. Fa'ala, fa'ala, fa'alu, Muannas, fa'alat, fa'alata, fa'alna. So next time we see any of this form in the Quran, we can recognize the number and the gender and the person. Let's move on to Mukhatab, second person, Mudhakkar, singular. As I said, from this form all the way down, the last letter of the verb will have a sukoon. So fa'al. We need a fa'il here. We need a fa'il. Remember, from here, or from this siga, from this form, no ism will come as a fa'il, as a doer, because we already have the fa'il built in with these forms. For Muthanna, the alif is the fa'il. For Jama Mudhakkar Ghaib, the waw is the fa'il. For Wahid Muannas, yes, the ism either will be mentioned after it. If not, then the here is the fa'il. And for Muthanna, this ta and alif is the fa'il. And for Jama, the noon is the fa'il. Mukhatab, second person Mudhakkar, we need a fa'il. The fa'il is the ta. Fa'alta. Is like anta. Because we cannot use anta with the fi'l, because anta is independent ضمير. So we need a ضمير that comes with the file, and these are called attached ضمير. Attached ضمير only comes with فعل ماضي. مثنى فعلتما. Okay. So this will be the file. Tuma is the file of the siga, which is same as أنتما. Oops. For Jama, فعلتم. Which is أنتم. So the file for this siga is tum. Now we have three sigas, three forms of مخاطب مذكر. فعلت، فعلتما، فعلتم. فعلت، فعلتما، فعلتم. مخاطب مؤنث. فعل تي with the kasra. Ta with the kasra. The file for this siga is the ta again. Ta, not with the kasra, not ti. The kasra just to pronounce, to give us the muannas meaning, but the file is the ta. Anti. For مثنى is the same as مذكر. فعلتما. For جمع فعلتن. The file for this form is تن, is same as أنتن. Now we have 6 forms for مخاطب. مذكر 3, مؤنث 3. مذكر فعلت، فعلتما، فعلتم. مؤنث فعلتي، فعلتما، فعلتن. The second person is front of you, you're talking, you know this person is the file. So there's no need to mention the name of this person. So the damirs will be the file. متكلم first person فعلت. Again, this ta is the file, not tu. Dhamma just to pronounce. The same as أنا. I did. So this siga, this form is used by both مذكر and مؤنث. And first person متكلم, مثنى and جمع, both is used one siga. فعلنا. the file for this siga is dana, same as نحن. Okay, so we have all 14 forms of فعل الماضي. Okay, so let me put here for the first siga, if the ism is not mentioned after this. Remember, the file doesn't have to be straight after the fi'l. It can come after a few words. Still is going to be a fa'il as long as it comes after the fi'l. There could be few words in between, then the fa'il is coming later. It happens. So if the ism is not mentioned anywhere, by context we already know it's been mentioned before. Now we need to bring a damir here to make the fa'il, and that damir is huwa, which is hidden. We don't see it, which is hidden. So let me make this color like this. This one? Okay. And for fa'alat, the here. Again, which is hidden. Okay, once you've learned this part of fi'l madi, the 14 forms, it doesn't matter any verb we get, 3-letter verb, just put on this pattern, you'll get the 14 forms. فعل, فعلا, فعلوا, فعلت, فعلتا, فعلنا, فعلت, فعلتما, فعلتم, فعلتي, فعلتما, فعلتن, فعلت, فعلنا. So beside this first for Mudhakkar Siga and first Muannas Siga, the rest of the Siga, the rest of the forms of Al-Madi, the Fa'il is built in, comes with it. You're never going to find an Ism after it as the Fa'il, because they fail, don't have two files. Okay, so I'm going to delete all these. We don't need them anymore. These were just to understand. Okay, the last one. These are 14 forms of Al-Madi. This is the best way to remember, but if you have your own way to remember these forms, it's up to you. Some they start from the mutakallim, first person, fa'altu, fa'alna. Then they start from the mukhatab, fa'alat, fa'altuma, fa'altum, fa'alti, fa'altuma, fa'altunna. Then they go to third person, fa'ala, fa'alu, fa'alat, fa'alata, fa'alna. Because we're going to need this one always, the first sigha. So it's better, or some people find that this way is easy. فعل, فعلا, فعلوا, فعلت, فعلتا, فعلنا, فعلت, فعلتما, فعلتم, فعلتي, فعلتما, فعلتن, فعلت, فعلنا. Right, so we're going to put many verbs in this pattern to get used to them, and so we know. By looking at it, we will know the siga, we will know the number, we'll know the gender, we'll know the person. Okay. Right. Okay, there was a question here. I will come to that in a minute. Let's go through this. This is what we've learned in the last lesson. Every file needs a fa'il, a doer. The fa'il can be an ism or can be a damir. So when the file is an ism, we always use the first siga for muannas and first siga for mudhakkar and first siga for muannas. If an ism has been mentioned before a fi'l, by context we know, by looking at it we know ism has been mentioned before, then the fi'l will come according to the gender and number of that ism to show the fa'il. This fa'il will be a damir, as I explained all this. Okay, all these. If an ism has been mentioned before a fi'l, by looking at it by context, we know that can be the fa'il. But remember, we've learned fa'il will come after a fi'l. So this ism was already mentioned before. Now we need to bring a fa'il. And these are the files. The damirs of the fi'l madi will be the files. That's what meant by here. For example, if I write someone's name here, let's say Khalid. Now I need to bring a fi'l. Khalid, say fa'ala. Now the fi'l, Khalid did. Khalid did. But what is the fa'il? The fa'il cannot come before fi'l. Fa'il has to be, we know the doer is Khalid, but we need something with the fi'l that will connect Khalid to the fi'l. We need a connector. Yeah. So these damirs are the connectors. So this fi'l will come according to the gender and the number of that ism. So Khalid is mudhakkar, Khalid is wahid, so we need the fi'l wahid, fa'ala. But we need a fa'il. What is the fa'il? Is hidden, huwa. That huwa will connect Khalid with the fi'l. I hope you understand. Someone asked, I don't understand a verb. When I say verb, I mean one of the forms, okay? One of the forms cannot have two fa'il. So if we write, by the way, this will be jumla ismiya, okay? This will be jumla ismiya because it's starting with a noun, Khalid, which we will learn once we finish fi'l. So fa'ala, fa'ala Khalid. So this is the standard way of making fi'l, jumla fi'liya. Fi'l first, then the fa'il. Oops, I need alif there. Okay. Someone said, I don't understand, what do we mean by a fi'l cannot have two fa'ils? Fa'ala Khalid. If I write Zaid, for example, زيد. Who is the file here? Has to be one of them. So فعل خالد. Let's say stop. Or take Khalid away. فعل زيد. Has to be one of them. A file cannot have two files. Yes, you can connect the next person with the file by doing عطف. That is the advanced level we're going to learn. You need to connect. You must have a connector, and that is wow, we know. Some of us we know. Wow عطف. If you say wa, and that is not a direct file, is it? What we mean by one file cannot have one file cannot have two direct files. If you want to make the second ism a file, you need a connector, which is عطف, and one of the way to do عطف is the wow. So I hope you understand now. So a file always will be or will have one file. But if we want, suppose walad, yeah? Oh, I know what your confusion is. Remember, we're not talking about the number. One file cannot have two isms as the file. A file can have two number as a file. File cannot have more than two, but plural in number as a file. A single word, a single ism. As we gave yesterday, lots of examples. Waladani. Waladani. It is giving us two meaning, yes. But it's not two words, is it? It's not two nouns, is it? It's one noun. It can be the file. What we mean by one verb cannot have two files, I mean two isms at the same time. Even plural. أولاد. فعل أولاد. Yes. The number can be the file. Either it is a number واحد or number مثنى or number جمع. فعل أولاد. So when the file is واحد, giving us meaning of واحد, giving us meaning of مثنى, or giving us meaning of جمع, the file is always واحد. But if we want to bring a file after this, if we want to bring a file after أولاد, the file must come according to gender and number. So which siga are we going to use this? Remember, whenever an ism is mentioned, it refers to third person. Okay, tell me which siga we need from this. From all 14 forms, which siga do we need to match أولاد? This is if an ism has been mentioned before a fi'l, then the fi'l will come according to the gender of this ism and number of this ism. I also can add and person of that ism. Person means third person, second person, and first person. So because أولاد is third person, is غائب, because you're talking about someone or some who's not in present. غائب. So the fail form will come according to the number and gender and person. So that will be, oops, I change the, yes, you're correct, which is to give us the whom damir. So that will connect the ism before it to the fa'il. We need a connector, and that is the waw. Okay. أولاد فعلوا, but obvious we cannot use this as a nakira. We have to make it marifa. الأولاد. This is jumla ismiya. Whenever you use jumla ismiya, the ism must be definite. Okay. So al-awlad do mardun, because we've learned al and tanween cannot come together. Al-awladu fa'alu. So what we mean by one fa'il cannot have two files means two isms as a file at the same time. So I hope you understood now. Okay. Now I've got a list of verbs. These are all Quranic verbs. I thought I'm going to finish today's lesson within half an hour. But what can I do? Okay, these are a list of verbs. This chart of verbs, or this table of verbs, comes in the Quran. Total words 2,260. Yes, questions of fail can come before or after a file. Yes, as we said, I didn't want to go into that. If fail comes after an ism, and that sentence starts with an ism, that will be jumla ismiya. So yes, fail can come after the ism. That is jumla ismiya. We'll learn later. Don't get more into this. Just remember this. If I see a fail coming after an ism, that fail you will see connecting to the ism before it with the number, with gender and person. Okay. So this table of the verbs comes in the Quran 2,260 times in different forms. Okay. Sometimes fil madi, one of the forms, sometimes fil mudari, all together 2,260. Okay. So if we memorize this chart or this table, we will be able to understand many of the Quranic words. Okay, the first one is nasara. It comes 92 times in various forms, means to help or to deliver. Then balagha, again, you can see the numbers. I'm not going to save time. To reach, taraka, to leave, hashara, to gather, to bring together, hakama, to judge, to rule, kharaja, to come out, khalada, to live forever, khalaqa, create out of nothing, or sometimes create, dakhala, to enter. Okay. So learn this table of verbs. Here, one of the verb we see a lot, kafara. كفر. Another one we see سجد, prostrate. We all see this عبد. We all see this قتل, to kill. Let's take one of the verb and put in the chart, in the table, to conjugate all 14 forms. So let's take sajada. By the way, this the word nasara, I put a star here. Just remember this verb, nasara, nasara, nasara. Later on, we'll be using this to understand more. So if we take sajada and put in this verb in this table, so sajada, sajada. Yeah. So I'm just going to try to leave the damir. Sajada. The alif is the damir. Sajada. This dal, wow demands dhamma before it. So sajadu. Okay, why the further? Sajadat. Sajadata. They both female prostrated. Sajadna, sajadna. From this siga all the way, the last letter of al-madi will have a sukun. Sajadna. They all female prostrated. I can just take this, copy. Sajatta. Sajattuma. Sajadtum. You all male. Mukhatab. You all male prostrated. Sajatti. You one male, female prostrated. And Sajattuma. Take the far away. Sajadatuna. Sajattu. Sajadana. Okay, so we can conjugate the rest of the verbs from this table exactly the same way. Okay, I just want to give one or two examples very quickly. In Surah Al-Kahf, when Allah talks about Musa alayhi salam and Khidr alayhi salam. We know that story, I don't want to go in more details. When Musa alayhi salam met Khidr, Musa alayhi salam requested, Hal attabi'uka, can I follow you? Can I be your companion? With one condition, ala an tu'allimani, that you teach me, mimma ullimta rushda. You teach me from which, you teach me the truth, or you teach me the guidance from which you have been taught. Can I follow you? Can I come with you? With one condition, that you teach me what you have been taught, the truth. Rushda. Then Khidr said, Lan tastati'a ma'ya sabra. whatever action I do, when you see them, you will lose your control. You will not have patience. And Musa said, "Satajiduni inshallah min as-sabirin." Then you will find me like being patient, or amongst the patients. Then Allah said, because Allah already talked about both of them, then Allah is using this Muthanna, Ghaib, Muthanna Sigha to refer to both of them. There is a verb, it is a four-letter verb. We're not going to into more deep in that. Intalaqa. Intalaqa, huwa is the verb, the file here. Yeah. He proceeded. So what form of this fi'l madhi are we going to use? Because both of them have already been mentioned. Now I want to bring a fi'l. So which one are we going to bring? Which is in this is the qaf, to give a huma meaning, to refer both of them, which is the alif, intalaqa, intalaqa. So at the beginning of this verb, like a fa is used. Okay? The fa is used. And again, this alif is something is called hamzatul wasl. We'll come to later to connect to read. So fantalaqa, and fa means then or so. See over here, the dual form of fi'l madhi is used, and the alif is the damir of huma to connect both of them to this fi'l. فَانْطَلَقَا. Yeah. So if you look at this story in the Quran, whenever Allah is talking about both of them using a verb, you will see that Allah using the ghaib, mudhakkar, because they're both mudhakkar, and muthanna siga. Okay. فانطلقا حتى إذا, another verb, ركب, to board. ركب. So which form we want to use to refer both of them? That they did this action. It is the ghaib, mudhakkar, muthanna. So how do you make this into muthanna? To bring a huma damir, which is ba. حتى إذا ركب في السفينة. Then they boarded a ship or boat. So next time you read Surah Al-Kahf, which is tomorrow Friday, just look at these verbs. Look at these verbs that Julie is used. Okay. I had more examples, but because of time, I'm not going to go into that. So you will see either the wahid form of this. You may see all forms, all these 14 sigas. So whatever you see, just translate according to that. You will see the number, you will see the gender, you will see the person. You cannot go wrong. Okay, let's finish this lesson. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq. Subhanak Allahumma bihamdika. Nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.